Today, for our topic, I'll be talking about Gaslight. I'll be talking about Gaslight, the movie. It was made in 1944, starring Ingrid Bergman and Charles Bauer, if I'm saying it correct. And I watched the movie after, watching YouTube, and I hear a lot of people talking about gaslighting. I think I even did something on gaslighting, but I watched the movie, and it was quite fascinating because if for ladies, even for men, if you've never seen the movie, I urge you to watch it. It comes on those old movie channel, and the first thing as I was watching this movie, I was taking notes. I don't know where the notes are, but I'm gonna do it at the top of my head. The first thing I saw in the movie was the man was he was love bombing the woman, and so often in relationships, and as I started to watch this movie, it was just like my life I was looking at when I was married. And the first thing, as I said, I noticed was the love bombing. It was just him being so kind and so gentle and so sincere. And her, and this is the other thing I noticed too with the movie, the lady only grew up with one parent in the home. She when she was a baby, or I think at child's birth, her mom passed away and she grew up with her auntie. And I noticed in the movie, like I said, the first thing I noticed was the love bombing. The second thing, as she began to talk about or share her life with the man, she grew up with she grew up in a single parent family. And there's nothing wrong in growing up in a single parent family. But what I had noticed in the movie was that she grew up in a rich single parent family because her auntie was a singer. But that wasn't it was the case that, when as a woman, you grow up in a home. It could be rich, it could be poor, you could be middle class. When the woman doesn't take time to teach the young girl, like the Bible says, the younger women, I'm sorry, the older women are to teach the younger women. You fall into trap, and the first man that comes along, just like her, and this is like similar to my life too. Like I said, as I was watching the movie, it was just like my life was just, it was just like a flashback. The first man that comes along and acts, because he was acting and shows affection, we just run away and marry them and put us into situations that we were, uncomfortable with. And that's what the man did to her. The auntie died in the house, and then he swept her off her feet, and he made her go back to the house. But all along, he had his own agenda. And then when he took her back, then the scales started to fall off, and she was seeing his true colors. But in seeing the true colors, because she was already love bombed, it was hard, because she was saying, "Oh, Gregory, you're not like that. What is wrong with you?" And she was begging for affection, and he was withholding it. So it was a nice movie to watch, because he was making her think like she was crazy. And your relationships, and the man might be cheating or the woman might be cheating, and then they come and say, "You know what?" And it's happened to me. "You're cheating on me." And like, what? I'm cheating on you? How can I cheat on you when I don't even have time to leave the house? Yes, you're cheating on me because someone said they saw you, and it's all lies. That's what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is manipulating you into making you not trust your own reality, making you seem like you're crazy. And it, like I said, the movie, if you have not watched it, it comes on those old movie channels. And it was, like I said, it was like an eye opener, because this movie was made in 1944. It's 2021. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. There was a book. It was a playwright, was written by Patrick Hamilton, called Gaslighting, and then they made the book into a movie. And like I said before, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And he just manipulated his wife. But the gist of the story was that what he wanted was he killed our auntie, but what he wanted was the diamonds. The auntie had valuable jewels, and he wanted it. Number one, his name wasn't even Gregory. He had his own whole life. He had a wife and kids and all these things. But we see that in the story, the gaslighting movie, he had his own agenda. And oftentimes we see when people come into our lives, when they love bomb us, when they gaslight us, when they devalue and all, they have their own agenda. His agenda was to find the jewels, and when he found the jewels, his agenda was to leave and go back to his life. And oftentimes when people come in our lives with their own agenda and they aim, when they get whatever they want, they leave. And you're all broken hearted because you've been love bombed, you've been devalued, you've been all these things, and you're thinking that why would they leave me? Because they got what they wanted. And when they got what they wanted, and we saw when as I watched the movie, when the man found the Jews, he was like, I'm leaving, honey. You're no longer you know, you're no longer valuable. And that's what happened in gaslighting. Whenever they got what they wanted from you, whatever it may be, they leave. And you're all broken-hearted and all these things. But it was never the case that, you know, you had something of value. And that's what I'm saying to you. When people come along and they use and abuse us, we have stuff that's valuable. We have stuff that they want. And oftentimes we look at ourselves and we like, oh, he left me or she left me. He left you because he got what he wanted from you. She left you because she got what she wanted from you. And when you become no longer valuable, when they take in what it could have been money, when they have dried up all your resources, they leave. It could be they wanted a place to live. When they got the place to live and they found something better, they move on. So when whatever it is that you have that they want, when they've taken it, they leave. So may God help us, because like I said, if you have not seen the movie, it is a good movie for men and women to watch, because we see here that the man was just manipulating the wife. He was turning the gas off, just making her seem like she was crazy. And you know, often, like I said, as I watched the movie, it was just like flashback with my life, but it was good for me to watch. So we have to be careful, because as ladies and as men, if you're hungry for a relationship, if you're in a state that you're so desperate, this thing can happen to you. You end up in a relationship that the man or the woman love bomb you, and then when they take everything that they can from you, they leave. So we have to be careful, and we need discernment. We need when we're in relationships with people, we need God. We need God to do a background check on that person. So if they're not right, and especially if you're saved, if you're a Christian, God will tell you, listen, this man is no good for you. Even if you will not listen, or if you're a man and you're in a relationship with a woman, God will say to you, he will say to you personally, this woman is no good for you. Because of desperation, you know, you just want in a relationship. And that's what happened to me. At the ending of my 20s, everyone was getting married. I'm like, I will get married. And I got married. Well, what happened? We have to come to a place that we say, you know, if I get married, blessed be the name of the Lord. If I don't get married, blessed be the name of the Lord. And we have to stop being desperate, because when we're desperate for the husband, we're desperate for the wife, we're desperate to have children, we open up ourselves to gaslighting, and we open up ourselves to us. A lot of demonic attack from the enemy. So may God help us not to be desperate, and may God help us to use discernment. And even if we don't use discernment, people will come along in our lives and say, you know what, this man or this woman is not for you. But yet again, because we're so desperate and we want to be in a relationship, we want to be loved, we want to be desired, we close all our senses down. May God help us today.